What is good, Pokemaniacs? Today I bring you an OU battle like always. This is an O battle, so it's featuring my Rain team, which is pretty decent team. And he's got a pretty decent team himself. So let's check out his team. It seems like he has main threat would be Gyarados. Gyarados can basically wall most of my Pokemon except for Rotom. I gotta check for Gyarados. I gotta check for Haxorus, which is obviously Skamori, and a check for Jolteon, which is Swampert, and Jirachi. He could possibly possess a threat, but I could Hydro Pump him to death. Gengar, Chansey could wall him pretty good. So Scizor, his left, could take a couple of hits, but I should take Scizor pretty well. So pretty much his main threat is Gyarados, or my main threat is Gyarados. As long as I can keep my Rotom alive, I should be able to take him out. So anyways, let's go ahead and see what's gonna happen here. So I figured he was gonna lead with his Jirachi, because it looked like the only thing that could set up rocks. And of course I gotta make it rain. So I'm gonna start out with my Politoed. Here I figured he was gonna set up his rocks, so I'll go ahead and Hydro Pump him in the face, which he's not gonna appreciate because I'm Choice Specs. Hydro Pump with Rain boosted is gonna do some major damage. That Hydro Pump just slapped him in the face, and he's just like, whoa. He goes for the Body Slam, hoping for the pair of hacks. Doesn't get it. I go for another Hydro Pump, and dang, Jirachi cannot take Hydro Pumps in the rain. That's what he gets for staying in. So he sends in Haxorus because I'm locked in the Hydro Pump. I know the Hydro Pump wouldn't do much to Haxorus, so I'm gonna go into something like a Wild Haxorus, which is of course Skamori. He goes for the Dragon Claw, which Skamori eats Dragon Claws for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so he won't be doing nothing to me anytime soon. He withdraws, of course, and knowing this, I go ahead and go for my first layer of spikes because I knew he was going to withdraw. There's nothing Haxorus can do to a Skamori, but a Jolteon, that's a different story. I fear the lightning move, so I'm gonna bring in my Swampert just in case he goes for the thunder move instead of a Shadow Ball or HP something, whatever. And obviously he goes for the lightning move, which is Volt Switch. So he fears the earthquake, so he's gonna withdraw his Jolteon because he wants to save it, and goes into his Gyarados, which this is the main threat to my team. This Gyarados, he can wall most of my Pokemon. I go straight for the waterfall because I knew he was gonna withdraw his Jolteon. Did pretty decent damage. I don't want my Swampert getting hurt just yet, so I'm gonna withdraw him and switch out into Rotom, which he predicted that, I guess, very nicely, and goes straight for the Stone Edge, which I'm just hoping it doesn't crit because I need this Rotom. This Rotom is the only thing that can check this Gyarados. I see the leftovers. He must be a Poke. He predicts the thunder, but predicts wrong, and I go for the Hydro Pump, predicting him to go into Jolteon to take the thunder move, and I go for the Hydro Pump, and dang, look at that, right in the face. Jolteon, you're out. So that's one more Pokemon down, and now I can actually Thunderbolt anything coming in, or I can actually Thunderbolt freely. He goes into Scizor, trying to KO my Rotom, with bullet punch, but I predicted that and going to Swampert, and Swampert can't take bullet punches for days. You know, there's nothing a bullet punch can do to a Swampert. So here, he decides to stay in as I go for the waterfall, which is gonna do massive, big time damage because I am a choice banded Swampert. Look at that. Oh man, that's nice damage right there. Real nice. He goes for sword stance. I guess he probably thought he could live whatever I was going for. He probably thought I was going to set up my rocks. But no, this is my choice bandit Swampert. He'll take anything out. As I go for another waterfall, which he just wasted his turn with a sword stance. But anyways, he goes into Gardos to intimidate me because I'm scared. But oh well, I'll withdraw because there's nothing really I can do after intimidate. I go into my Toxic Krogon because I know Toxic Krogon can take another Stone Edge and Rotom cannot take a Stone Edge, so I didn't want to risk it bringing in my Rotom and hit and KO my Rotom. So here we're gonna play a little game. This game is gonna be the prediction game. He goes for the taunt, which I didn't see that coming, which was stupid of me, but anyways, so I went for the bulk up. And now here he's gonna here's where this game starts. He's gonna go for Dragon Dance, as I'm gonna go for my Drain Punch, which you know Drain Punch doesn't really hurt a Gardos. So he goes for his Dragon Dance, I go for my Drain Punch. And here I'm like, wow, that is some good damage. I'm like, that must be a real powerful Toxic Krogon, but I got a crit, which I'm always happy for crits. You know, I take them. So, that Gardos just got critted, but here, he's gonna go for another Dragon Dance. He's surpassed by +2 now. And I'm gonna keep going for the Drain Punch, hoping to predict right when he's gonna attack me. Because if I predict wrong at this time, there's nothing that can outspeed this Gardos. All my Pokemons will go down to this Gardos. Because he's at +2, nothing can take a +2 from Gardos now. So here I'm just the taunt burst off. Of course I'm not gonna bulk up. I go for the Sucker Punch, not predicting him to use the taunt again, but he goes for the taunt, and I'm like, that Sucker Punch was a waste. I could have Drain Punch one more time. So here he goes for another Dragon Dance. He's getting a little greedy, so I'm just hoping I can predict when he's gonna attack me right. So he's at what, +4? I go for the Drain Punch, which does decent damage. He's on the red zone, so I know a Sucker Punch can kill. I'm just hoping I predict it right whenever he's gonna attack me. So here I finally decide I should go for the Sucker Punch as he goes and attacks me, and I take him out. So big threat, get out of here. Toxic Krogon doing his job, taking out Pokemons. So now he goes into his Gengar. I don't really have nothing I can do to Gengar except Sucker Punch, but I know he's gonna use either Confuse Ray with some kind of toxic, or I don't know, something, but not attack me because he fears the what's it called? The Sucker Punch. So here he goes for the Pain Split. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go for the Wish and get all that back. But I decided here, I'm like, well, he's beside a sub, I can't do nothing to him, so I'm gonna go ahead and withdraw and pass the Wish on to Muscamori as he goes and uses Focus Blast, which is not gonna do nothing to Muscamori, but it misses anyway. So I'm like, okay, that's good. Even with the Wish, I would have got all that HP back. He goes for Pain Split again. I'm like, why are you going for Pain Split? But I go for the Whirlwind. So that's gone. I bring out Haxorus, which I can wow all day. Here I'm not really sure why I went for the spikes, because Gengar has levitate, so I went for another. He locks himself into outrage, which is useless. That outrage is useless against Skamori. Here I go for a layer spikes, which after that layer spikes, I was like, what am I doing? The last Pokemon he's got levitate, so that's not gonna damage him at all. So since he's locked into outrage, and I know I can take that outrage and another outrage, so I'm gonna go for the Brave Bird, see how much damage I can get on it. And what do you know? Skamori does pretty decent damage to this Haxorus. I know it's probably a 3-hit KO, but I was gonna go for the Roost after this, but here he decides he cannot take me on no more, so he decides to forfeit, which was a pretty good battle. I'm glad I predicted that attack right with a Sucker Punch. I would have lost that battle. So anyways, that was a good game.